Chapter 4 Jew Boy. Alex took a key out of his pocket and paused for a moment before putting it in the lock. He asked, "Ready again, Yick?" Jacob nodded, but he felt miserable. He remembered the big polished bullies at school. With a wavering voice, he replied, "Yes, Uncle Alex." "Good boy." Alex clapped Jacob heartily on the back and opened the door, gently guiding him over the fear shed. "This is Aunt Mela," Alex said, pointing to the sturdy, small woman smiling at him. "And these are our children, Yurik and Marshika." How big they are, Jacob thought. Even Marshika was a hit taller than he. "How do you do? I'm Jacob," he said with most mature voice. Then replied, "How rude." He thought until he looked at Alex's frown. "Sorry," he stammered. Like container, he bowed and said, "How do you do? I'm Genyek." The tension broke and everyone broke into laughter. Marshika came forward and handed a small bouquet of wilted flowers. "We're happy to have you here." Jacob took the flowers and sniffed them. They were the first flowers he'd seen in 2 years. "Hello," said Yurik, squeezing Jacob's hand so hard he had to look away to hide his tears. The small, plain apartment wasn't falling down or overcrowded as in the ghetto. It had a living room, a kitchen, and 1 bedroom. The parents slept in the bedroom, and the children slept in the living room. It reminded Jacob of Sesik's house. The Goodgeld family had gone from great wealth to extreme poverty within a year. This new family, the Roselands, had always lived somewhere in between. Food on the kitchen table drew Jacob's attention. There were half a pot of coffee, a few stale rolls, and a wrinkled, bruised apple. Jacob hadn't seen so much food in a long time, and it was all he could do not to rush over and stuff his mouth. Following his eyes, Mala gestured to the table, where everyone sat down. Jacob called Yurik, staring at him. "I do not look like his cousin," he thought, staring at blonde-haired blue boy. "What's it like in the ghetto?" Marishka, slowly chewing an apple slice, Jacob answered. "Every day German soldiers come in, drag people out of their houses, and take them away in trains." "Where do they take them?" Mela asked, her eyes troubled. "We were told they went to work farms," Jacob answered. Yurik broke in. "Farms? That's not so bad." "They're being killed," Jacob replied, looking straight ahead. "They're going to Treblinka and Auschwitz." Everyone stopped eating, became silent. Jacob's words reminded them that he was not there on a social visit. It was a matter of life and death. Alex cleared his throat. "That's what I was trying to explain the other night when we talked about why we had to take in Jacob. I mean Genyek." Jacob looked down. He would never get used to his new name. Yurik shook his head. "That's not what my teacher says. He says they're sending Jews away because they caused all the trouble in Poland." Jinker stared stonily ahead. Mela responded sharply to Yurik. "Do you think it's true? Did the Jews start the war? Did they bomb the city?" Marishka and Yurik looked at each other and then at Jacob. "No," Marishka said quietly. "It's the Germans." Alex looked at his watch and said to Yurik and Marishka, "It's late, past 10. You won't be able to get up for school tomorrow." Jacob winced. He had only been to school only for a year before he went to the ghetto. He yearned to return to the challenge of a teacher's questions, the smell of a dusty chalk on blackboards, the pleasure of a new book. But Alex told him he couldn't even leave the apartment. It was too dangerous. "I'll show you where you sleep," Yurik said roughly, leading Jacob to a corner of the living room. Pointing to a cot, he said, "Your head is here at the foot of the bed, and mine is at the head." "Jim, thanks," Jacob said, quickly slipped under the fan blanket as quickly as he could. Yurik got into bed a few minutes later. Despite the strangeness of being so close to Paul's boy, Jacob felt comfortable, sleepy from his full stomach, and he soon fell asleep. When he was awakened in the middle of the night, he forgot a moment where he was. The hard cot reminded him that he was alone. But where was Yurik? Maybe he went to the bathroom, Jacob thought. After what seemed like hours, Jacob heard a scraping sound at the window. He froze. Was it the Germans? He hid himself with the blanket and waited. The bed creaked as Ulrich's large body pressed upon it. Where did you go? Jacob whispered. You smell like a pungent mixture of tobacco and whiskey. None of your business, Jew boy, Ulrich snapped. Jacob didn't reply, smarting with anger and hurt from the harsh words. In the morning, Mela asked, Did you sleep well, Jacob? He nodded. Yes, Aunt Mela. She looked at Ulrich and asked him the same question. He also nodded but looked away from his mother. After breakfast, Ulrich pulled Jacob aside. He pulled a rumpled cigarette from inside his jacket pocket and said, Smoke, Jenya? Jacob shook his head. See you later, kid. Ulrich called as he slung his books over his shoulder and left for school. Maybe Ulrich isn't so bad after all. I hate this, Ulrich exclaimed, chewing on a pencil. He sat laboring over his math homework, the subject that gave him the most trouble. Jacob was watching over Ulrich's shoulder. 8 times 7 equals 48, Ulrich wrote. 9 times 4 equals 34. Jacob shook his head at answers. He knew Ulrich was guessing. With a little help from his aunt, Jacob had taught himself to multiply. Maybe I can help you? Jacob asked cautiously. He wasn't sure if Ulrich would be friendly or mean. Ulrich looked at him suspiciously. Then he leaned back and smiled. He pushed the paper from Jacob. Give it a try if you want, he said, acting as if he didn't care. Jacob sat down and finished the paper in a few minutes. Ulrich in the results, amazed there was an answer to every problem. Anytime you want to do a little math, let me know, he said to Get out. Hey, Jenyak, you're not so bad for a Jew.